Canada's budget is out. Here's what you need to know about it. Oh, and on top of that, a Conservative MP just crossed the floor to the Liberal Party. Now the Liberals only need 2 opposition MPs to support their budget to avoid an election. But as things stand now, no opposition MPs have come forward and said outright that they will support this budget. That could change over the course of the 4 days of allotted debate in the House of Commons, but the government definitely did not go out of its way to craft a budget that's easy for any opposition party to support. The deficit is projected to be about $78 billion, which is probably too high for the Conservatives, who demanded it be no higher than $42 billion. But the government says it's spending big in the name of generational investment. In practice, that means we're seeing billions upon billions spent on infrastructure, productivity and competitiveness, defense and home building. Despite all of that spending, and the fact that the government is keeping a bunch of Trudeau-era social programs, the budget didn't spend on the non-negotiables that the Bloc had asked for. So they also won't be supporting this budget. Elizabeth May said she can't support the budget as is, which makes sense because it sets up the conditions for the government to scrap the oil and gas emissions cap. The government says it would do a bunch of other stuff like carbon capture, and put a focus on the industrial price on carbon that would mean the oil and gas emissions cap would no longer be required. As for the possibility of the NDP supporting the budget offsets some of its big spending through, you guessed it, cuts. Particularly job cuts to the public service, cutting about 16,000 full-time jobs, slashing the public service down by about 40,000 jobs by 2028-2029 relative to the peak in 2023-2024. So relative to that peak, in the size of the public service, about 1 in 10 jobs will be gone. And they said they basically want to make this as humane as possible by leaning on attrition and voluntary departures, like pushing people to retirement and offering packages. Deep in the budget's notes, they actually compare these cuts to Stephen Harper's deficit reduction action plan from 2012. And we all know how public servants felt about the Harper era cuts. This also begs the bigger question. I just told you all of the poison pills for each political party in this budget, so who is going to swallow that pill and keep this government going? My money is on the NDP abstaining, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see if this plunges us into an election. On top of everything I just listed, the government is also planning to spend less on programs. The amount the government has been spending on programs has been rising by about 8% per year, but they say they're going to slow that to about 1%. So don't expect a lot of programs to be expanding. They're also slashing immigration, which they announce after blaming temporary residents for putting pressure on housing supply, the healthcare system, and schools. The most drastic cut is to temporary residents, which are dropping from 673,000 in 2025 to just 385,000 in 2026. That's chopped nearly in half. There's a lot more in this thing, but those are the big headlines. What do you think of all this?